Alright YouTube, just doing another quick video. Got a PS4 in for repair and figured this was probably worth sharing. Not actually going to go through a repair process, just want to demonstrate how soda can infiltrate into a sealed console. Possibly without even the owner knowing. Now, preventing it should have been very possible, and this is where don't sit drinks next to your console where they can be spilled. It's the very simple way to prevent it. However, we all do things that we probably shouldn't from time to time, especially when you're gaming over an extended period of time. You get thirsty, you get a little hungry, and if you're sitting next to your console, you're probably going to sit a drink down next to it. Now, to show exactly what the hypothesis is, at least in terms of what happened, is here's the case. Alright, I don't have a great camera angle for showing this at its best, but let's see if we rotate it around. We can see that there was liquid that looks like it spilled into the case. And this usually is what we find and where it stops. Liquid comes in through one of these openings. It really didn't look like liquid entered through the top, but liquefaction is a BS sometimes. It will cause ingredients to travel, especially syrupy sodas, which is definitely what this is. Take a look at this here. We can see, in fact, if we put it under the microscope, you gotta lower this to get the microscope in focus. But it actually penetrated from top to bottom. There we go. That's a clear indication of some soda. You even got where kind of it bubbled and left those parts untouched. This is soda damage. It's sticky to the touch. This is going to have to be fully cleaned. But what was interesting is I did not expect the soda to go all the way through the system, to just penetrate into everything. And it may be hard. Let's go ahead. We're going to cut that light out. And take a look at this. So on this back plate, we've got soda trails that go across. There's some on the edging all around. You can't see this very back edge where I'm tapping, but it kind of trails that edge and all those edges that make, let's see if we can get this in right here, all these edges. What we did find is that a large amount of this soda pulled into the battery cavity, well, the power supply. Let's see, take a look at that. That's real nice and gross. That's actually started to oxidize and rust the metal. It went as far as getting into fan areas, so that fan's going to have to be disassembled and cleaned. It's all over the sides here. It's sticky. Basically, this whole thing is going to need to go through a wash. So, don't let soda get into it. And if it does, you need to treat it immediately before it starts to seep and creep into the other parts. Because now we're going to take a look at how it ended up getting all over the board itself. And you can see as I go through and just start tapping areas where I'm easily noticing that here we have contact with components here, 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 here. Actually, no, that doesn't trail over to the line. We've got soda on this component over here, just to give a better view right there. Not really through the button, surprising, so close to the edge. We've got it over here near our drive circuitry, and I think that might be it for this side. Oh, there's some here. A lot of it has corralled around power management. We've got some near the data, I forget what this port is called, almost like a fire wire, but whatever that's used for the camera and the VR. So not really making much contact with the circuitry, but it is present there. Oh, and also the ribbon cable, you can see that's got pooed on too by all the soda. And what else we got? For the most part, that covers it. So surprising, this machine did not actually cut out. It was brought in because of HDMI port damage, no longer giving signal, and we still got to go through all the checks on that, and hopefully we don't run into any issues once we get video back up. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of the saturation from soda. Obviously, and I think what probably saved this customer is that at the time when the soda spilled, maybe it initially had an issue and then it came back on, but before the soda had a chance to creep out into all these components, it had been kind of set to rest and wasn't turned back on until this had kind of just dried and sealed up. And take a look at how gooey that is. That's what syrup will do on your system. So if this had been wet, it most definitely would have caused some shorts. I'm surprised even with it being dry that it's not, and chances are it's done something else here. And once we get video feed back up, then we can test and check the systems to see what's working and what's not. I'll be surprised if we don't have an issue with either USB or with Ethernet. I would say USB, possibly this data port, but USB has some crud growing on it as well, so I'd be surprised if we don't see anything there. Let's see what else. I think our Bluetooth will be okay. Really, we're just hopefully not going to have any trouble with the south bridge because of this component that has been soaked. Also over here, it looks like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's a trail of dried up soda gook there. And that's definitely not a chip that we want to have a problem with. And then also here in these tantalum capacitors, which are very sensitive components, we also don't want to have a problem with these. So we're going to hope that this is not one of those wasted efforts to get the screen back up only to find out there's tons more wrong with this machine. But that is really all that I wanted to show. Is just soda started on the outside. It was a sealed unit, still had factory stickers on it. Then that soda moved through the plastic case, traveled up and through, kind of, you can call it the veins, the connecting edges of the system where all these parts intertwine, and it worked its way through every crevice that it could find until it eventually made its way into the board. Now, if this would have been caught early on, this probably could have been cleaned up before it ever made its way to the board. But when talking with the owner, they were surprised to find that it had liquid damage, so they were unaware. So hard to treat something that you didn't know had happened. And I can't remember if this is one that had left it with a friend, and that friend then gave it back to him and said, "You got a problem." If this is that case, which again I'm not sure if it is, then he might need a new friend, because a friend poured soda all over your PlayStation and didn't tell you about it. What I'm doing now is, you can see it's It's on every part of this system, because now I'm pulling off the protective shell from the Blu-ray. This is an earlier model that has the daughter board. And you can see our daughter board cables are quite saturated with that same sticky but dried resin compound, that aftermath of soda concoction. And I guarantee we're also going to find some traces of soda inside of the Blu-ray player. So again, all of this will get stripped down and tossed into the ultrasonic. The laser assembly, that we will not toss into the ultrasonic. Don't do that if you have one at home. Definitely don't do it if you're doing one of the cheap ones. I would not recommend. I can't say for sure that it wouldn't work, but I've never been brazen enough to try putting the laser assembly into the ultrasonic. I clean those manually if they need it, and usually that's just cleaning around the wires as well as the laser lens itself. So, quite a bit of debris. Let's go ahead, let's pop this off. Let's see if it goes up underneath. And this will be it for this device. Well, for this video. It's got lots more work to do, but we're not going to, like I said, put all of that in a video. We do actually have a little bit of contact here. I'm not sure, I don't think that's really visible for the video, but there is a bit of sticky here. So again, this stuff it migrates and it travels. It almost defies the laws of gravity, or potentially maybe it spilled on one side and then later on they flipped it to another side, and that's what allowed it to travel even better. But as these machines heat up, that's something that would be interesting to see, is does that syrupy liquid start to travel in different directions than what we would think gravity would tend to pull it if it's being heated up by the running console? Somebody smarter than me probably knows the answer to that. I don't, and unfortunately I like my consoles too much to try that theory out. So we're just going to have to leave it as a hypothetical, and maybe somebody else down the road will answer it. That's all that I have for this video. We may come back after doing the cleanup and the HDMI patch on this one. If it has any additional issues, then we may make a video on that. But until then, I hope you learned something from this video, what to watch out for, and how serious a spilled liquid, even if it looks like it just got onto the plastic underneath, why it should be treated immediately, whether you're doing it yourself or seeking help. So again, if you learned something, if you liked this video, go ahead and click that like button, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. Until the next one, I will see you all later.